Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've all had a lovely, lovely weekend and a lovely Easter. My name's Amanda, if you've not met me before, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Now, Mondays is normally coffee and a card. It's been coffee and a card since I started being a demonstrator, but I feel it's time to change it up a bit. So from now on, Monday is no longer coffee and a card. Monday is Mix It Up Monday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go for a kind of a mixed media type feel. I'm no great mixed media artist, but I do like to have a bit of a mess about. So this is a card that I've came up with, which I really, really, really like. Can you see it's all sparkly? So I'm going to show you how I made it. So I've started off with a card base. All the measurements are always on my blog at scrimpingmommy.co.uk, or you can find the link in the description box below. So we've started off at 11.5 inches by, I've forgotten what size I cut it to, 4.5. So then we score it at 5 3/4. And then we've got a coloured layer. This is basic black, this is Bermuda Bay. So this one measures 1/4 inch smaller, so it's 4 1/4 by 5.5. And then I have another black layer which is going to go on top, another 1/4 inch shorter. So it's 4 inches by, I'm using my ruler so I don't get it wrong, 5 1/4. Okay, so without further ado, what I've got here is I've just got a piece of a book page. Now I used to do a lot of book folding. You know, you try all different crafts, don't you? And book folding was a bit of a passion for a while. So I've got quite a lot of, you know, like the guts of books. So no books were harmed in the making of this card, okay? It's an old book. I've used the cover for something else. It's a bit aged. It's not old. It's not antique. It's just a bit yellowed with age. I'm going to use it as is. I've just ripped a page out. And what I've done is I've just gently ripped around the edges just so that it'll fit nicely on that black layer there. And then I'm going to get my new toy, which I absolutely love, and that is the Stampin' Up Brayers. You get 2 in a pack, and I think you get 3 or 4 different heads. Can't remember, but they're awesome. So I'm starting off with Bermuda Bay. And I'm just going to gently put some ink on my brayer, and then I don't want it really, really dark, so I'm just going to rub a bit off onto here, onto my mat before I start, and then I'm just going to go and start and blend that in to just the top third of my book page there, concentrating on the edges so that I get some ink on all of that torn page there. Maybe a little bit darker to one corner. And then I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to get a different brayer. You do get interchangeable heads as well, and they're washable. They're awesome fun. And I'm going to go now with Daffodil Delight. So it's a good way to get to play and mess about with your inks. I'm going to show you how easy it is to change the head. You just take one off and slot a new one on. Love them. Brilliant toys. Oh, it's my new toy. So I'm just going to put some ink on here. This is Daffodil Delight. And again, I don't want it too dark, so I'm going to just put some on my mat first. And then I'm just going to go across the middle of the page, and then I'm going to start and blend it in to that Bermuda Bay. I'll just keep rolling. It's really cool and it's fun. It's like being a kid again. It's brilliant. Crafting should be fun. So then we've got that, and then on this one I'm going to use, in the bottom corner here, I'm going to use Tangerine Tango. I don't know who comes up with the names for these inks, but they're brilliant. Tangerine Tango. So I'm going to use this brayer here, and again I'm just going to take a little bit of the ink off because I don't want it really, really dark. And I'm going to start in the bottom corner. In fact, I'll just turn it around. Start in the bottom corner where I want it a bit darker, and then go to lighter where it meets that Daffodil Delight, and just blend it in. You can always put more on, or if you do it a little bit at a time, it's better. I'll just go a little bit darker on the edges. There we go. So we've got a bit of a multicoloured effect there. It's really pretty. and we can put that away. Move these out of the way. And now I'm going to use my black ink. And I'm using quite a few stamps today. This is another reason why I'm calling it Mix It Up Monday, because when I'm making cards, I usually only use one stamp. On a Monday, I'm going to be using a few different stamps. So it's another way to show you how to use up them stamp sets and get your best value for money, rather than just using one for a card. You know, you can use bits of this one, bits of this one, bits of this one to make awesome stuff. So that's the idea. You know, you can use as many different ones or as few as you like, basically. Right, so I'm going to start with, I'll have number 3, I'll have this one. So that's the one I used before. I'm going to mount it on my block, and then I'll get the flower heads ready. So this is Wild About Flowers, I've used it before. And I'm going to ink it up now with my black ink. I've got Memento here. I do believe it's retiring, and so I'm going to have to go get some Archival Basic Black, the Stampin' Up's own one. Right, so I've stamped off there because I don't want it too dark, and I'm starting with it quite high up. Give it a good press like that, so it's quite faded, but that's how I want it. I don't want it too dark. Stamp off and stamp here. Give it a good press. There we go. And then just stamp that top bit, stamp off and stamp there. Like so. And then I'm going to do the same with the flower heads. Now you pick the corresponding flower head. They're all numbered. So I'm just going to ink that up. And then I'm just going to stamp off, and then I'm going to line it up without getting my head under the camera, hopefully. Like so. And then I'm going to do that stamp off, line that up, and stamp off, line it up. It's about there. There we go. Now, another thing that I need that I've just realised I don't have is I'm going to use a Stampin' Up chalk marker, and then I have got a contraband here. It's a glitter gel pen. Now, you could use Wink Stella instead of the gel pen, but I don't have any, so I'm using what I've got. Oh, I need that out. Because what I'm also going to just stamp is from Dragonfly Dreams. This is not retiring, thank goodness. This is carrying over, I do believe. I'm going to add that to my block. I'm going to ink it up. Again, I'm going to stamp off because I don't want it too dark. And then I'm going to put it here at an angle. Like that. I'm following my sample, but it's not going to be exactly the same because this kind of thing you never get two the same. So that's that done. And then what I did do was I'm going to just attach this. Oh, I've just remembered something else that I did. Where's my little doofer? Here we go. I've got this little doofer. What's it called? Oh, you know, a dauber. I'm using Sahara sand. And before I attach it to my cardstock layer, I'm just going to go around the edges here with Sahara sand. Just daubing off and then putting it on, because again I don't want it too dark, but it just gives a aged kind of look to the edge of the book paper. Just a bit of a aged look. There we go. So that's that. I can put that to one side for now. Now, you could use your wet glue. but I'm not going to because I don't have a lot of drying time, so I'm using tear and tape. What you would probably do is use wet glue and then perhaps go over the top of your book page image with something to seal it, something like, I don't know, I suppose you could use Tombow watered down a bit, or, you know, a lot of mixed media artists use other things to seal with. I don't actually have anything, so I'm just going to just leave it as it is. Like so. Get this off. Just being careful because the book page is quite delicate and it will rip if you're not careful. It's another reason why I haven't, you know, just put a load of glue on the back of it, because it's thin and I don't want it to just turn into a big soggy mess. Come on. There we go, that's that out of the way. I'll just attach this to my card base, like so. Because it's got a nice jaggedy ripped edge, it don't matter if it's not precise. There we go, that looks really cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do some highlighting detail with my white chalk marker. And what I did was I just went in between the leaves and just added just some tiny bits of detail here and there with the chalk marker, and then just daubed it with my finger to make it more subtle. So I'll just do some bits just in the centres of the flowers. It just highlights it. You probably can't tell on camera, but you know, I can see it. And if you give it a try, you'll see that it does add to the detail. Okay, I just love messing about with all different things and getting different looks. I'm just going to smush that about a bit with my finger. Just give it a bit of a rub it in so that it's not like a harsh white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some white dots down the tail of my dragonfly. And just do this white detail in here. Do its eyes, like so. And then I've got my contraband gel pen. You can use Wink Stella. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to go around the edges and the outlines of each flower. You don't even really have to be careful. You're just adding a subtle glitter, a subtle sparkle. And you can do this with your Wink Stella. And it will look lovely. So I'm just adding that bit of detail all the way around each flower. Not even really doing it very precise. It's just to help it catch the light. Like so, just all the way around. And here. And then I'm just going to very roughly just go over the dragonfly wings. I'm going to go around the outside of the wings. Just very carefully. Well, no, not carefully. I'm doing it quite rough. I'm not doing it precise at all. Okay, and then I'm just going to just scribble some of that glitter on. As I say, if you've got your Wink Stella, just very gently paint it on. Don't paint for too long though, because you're on an inky background. You'll make your paper wet and it's only book page. So there we go. I don't know if you can see that, but it's nice and glittery. Now, what I'm going to do is get some scrap card, and I'm going to come in with this stamp set here, which is Grateful Bunch. By the time this video goes up, this may well be retired. I can't remember if it's on the retirements list. I really should check. But I'm going to I'm going to stamp this "You Are Loved" a lot. But you could use any sentiment, or you could use any words. If you don't have the appropriate words, you can even handwrite them and cut them out. Or you can do them on your computer and print them out, so you can have whatever font you want. You know, you're not just restricted to your whatever stamp sets you've got. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna stamp off on this one. I'm gonna do it as is, like so. And put that away now. Get my dauber ready, because I'm going to use that in a minute. And then I'm going to use my little weenie scissors, which I like for delicate things. And I'm going to cut these words out. I'm going to make them separate. So I'll just cut it out roughly first, so it's not as big to hold. I don't want that a lot bit, so I'm going to just lose the loop of the U, but I'm not bothered. Okay, get rid of that. Don't need it. Right, so I'm cutting these up separate. So we've got loved, R and U. Just want to make that a bit shorter. A bit thinner. So that's one. Oh, fiddly. Fiddly, fiddly, fiddly. It's worth it though. Neela. And this one says loved. So it says you are loved. That's not very straight, Amanda. It's about as straight as a £9 note. Let's have a look. That'll do. That's alright. And then I'm going to get my dauber. And I'm going to ink the edges so that they stand out. And again, this is Sahara sand, so it gives that nice, soft, delicate beigey kind of colour. Oh, they don't need layer. You can layer them on black cardstock if you want and cut round them again. It's not necessary if you ink them. You'll have to excuse the state of my nails. I don't think I'm destined to have girly nails, because I'm always doing inking and gardening and goodness knows what. So there you go. There we go. And I'm just going to stick these on. You could put them on dimensionals. I don't think I want to. I think I'm just going to glue them on with Tombow, to be honest. Oh, let's move that out of the way. Get my Tombow. Just give it a squeeze to see if something's going to come out. There we go. Right, so we want you first, don't we? You. Oh, a bit much on that. Just wipe a bit off. And we'll just put that there. Am I even in shot? We're getting great carried away then. No idea if I were in shot or anything. Just try and put that straight. There we go. And then R. I've still got some glue on my fingers actually. I'll use that. You are. I'll put that just going over the dragonfly's tail. And then we'll have loved. You are loved. What a lovely saying. I'll just wipe that. There's a bit much glue on there. And that could be a card for any reason. Or a thank you card, or absolutely anything. And also, it's quite... you could give that to a man, as well as a lady, I suppose. I'm going to mount them now onto my card bases, and I'm starting to get where I prefer to use Tombow, because you've got wiggle time. I'm not as likely to stick it on Wonka if I've got wiggle time, because if it's looking a little bit skew whiff, you've got time to move it, whereas with fast views, once it's down, there's no what you can do about it. So I'm going to stick this on the Bermuda Bay, which then ties in with that Bermuda Bay inking, and it just looks fantastic against the black. I love it. Just get that straight. See, you've got more wiggle time. Give that a bit of a press, and then more Tombow on the back of that. We're nearly done. Nearly done. Just get my card base. Oh, get out of where. That it's trying to make its debut. Is that pen there? Right. Come on, focus, concentrate. Right, I'm here. I'm with it. I know what I'm doing. Right, I'm sticking this on now. And I'm going to try and get a nice even border all the way around. And again, because if you use Tombow, you've got more wiggle time. And there we go. And I think that is really super. I'm just going to give that a bit of a... It's quite thick, is that card. And I think that is a lovely card for anybody. Look how pretty my mat looks. So that's the first one and that's the second one. They're very similar, but you're never going to get two the same. Awesome fun. Give it a try. Hope you liked it. Bye for now.